Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living and our special Christmas Eve service. The service is entitled Believe, and it is being facilitated through the technical expertise of Ava Ladocha and Heather Abbott on AV, the musical magnificence of Karen Daly and Cindy Johnson, and the divine wisdom of Heather Abbott, Carol Cross, and my own self. And we are very, very excited to be facilitating this evening, and we hope that you enjoy it as much as we enjoy serving you in this way. To begin, we will begin as we always begin, and that is in prayer. So I invite everyone to turn within, to take a moment to close your outer eyes and allow your attention to turn inward to the center of your being, to open your heart and open your minds to everything that will unfold this evening, to know that the presence of God is present throughout each and every message, each and every song, each and every prayer, and to know that the very essence of peace, joy, love, and faith are right here where we are throughout the entire evening. I bless Carol and Heather and Ava and Cindy and Karen and myself as we allow Spirit to have its way with us today, to speak through us, to sing through us, to pray through us. And I bless each and every person that is watching this service live or will watch it sometime in the future. Just so grateful for the love that we offer each other, for the support that we give each other, for just being present and reverently listening. And so I know that the evening is a divine appointment that God is having through and as us individually and collectively, and that it flows with grace and ease from beginning to end. And we simply allow it to do so by saying, and so it is.
Can you remember how Christmas made you feel? That special magic in the air when all your dreams were real. Can you remember the smell of gingerbread, candy canes and sugar plums danced inside your head? Remember when the twinkling stars at night told you reindeer were in flight and jolly Santa Claus was on his way? The warmth of candle glow, a kiss of mistletoe. The magic lives when we believe it's in our hearts to stay. Remember the caring, the season worth sharing. Believe in all the magic in our lives. Just open up your heart and relive the feeling. Just remember the magic one more time. Treasure it again. It never has to end. Remember the magic in our lives. Just open up your heart. Embrace all those feelings. Just remember the magic. Yes, remember the magic one more time. For
Arguments abound about the meaning of the season. One person says one thing, another person another, and a third person something completely different. And we can understand and appreciate all of them. However, at the risk of angering some people with my perhaps totally irreverent question, what is the difference between believing in a virgin birth that happened over 2,000 years ago, or believing that a small amount of oil can keep a lamp lit for 8 days, or believing that an overweight old man with a long white beard wearing a red suit could possibly deliver billions of presents to young children all over the world in one single night, or believing in the magic of the Hallmark Channel to completely wrap up the chaos and confusion at the start of each and every Christmas movie into a gift of the highest and best for everyone concerned within the last 15 minutes, where everyone winds up with the relationship of their dreams, even if they didn't know they wanted one, and that every town, every school music program, every Christmas pageant, and every family is saved and funded and held and healed. What is the difference? Now, for me, the answer is that there is no difference. For me, the answer is in their similarities. For me, what binds them together is the inextricable way that year after year, these simple stories and traditions touch us in ways that cannot be explained. Jim Blake, Unity World Headquarters CEO, says, "It has to be magic or a spell of some sort, because what else could possibly explain how and why billions of people simultaneously become nice, joy-filled, and accepting of one another for nearly a month? This glittery, sparkly spell that makes us open our hearts and minds and arms to charities, children, friends, families, co-workers, and strangers alike. The magic is in the transformation that occurs for a few weeks each year in our own hearts and minds and the hearts and minds of those around us." For me, the answer is that we all believe in these things because of the indescribable way that they make us feel. We get lost in the feelings of the season, and there is where the magic lies. Tonight, through message and music, we are diving deeply into 4 of those amazing feelings: faith, love, joy, and peace. The invitation is for each of us to open to the magic of belief. I believe in the magic of this particular time of the year.
Children sleeping, snow is softly falling, dreams are calling like bells in the distance. We were dreamers not so long ago, but one by one we all had to grow up. When it seems the magic slipped away, we find it all again on Christmas Day. Believe in what your heart is saying. Hear the melody that's playing. There's no time to waste. There's so much to celebrate. Believe in what you feel inside and give your dreams the wings to fly. You have everything you need. if you just believe. Trains move quickly to their journey's end. Destinations where we begin again. Ships go sailing far across the sea, trusting starlight to get to where they need to be. When it seems that we have lost our way, we find it once again on Christmas Day. Believe in what your heart is saying. Hear the melody that's playing. There's no time to waste. There's so much to celebrate. Believe in what you feel inside and give your dreams the wings to fly. You have everything you need if you just believe. If you just believe.
We begin with faith. In the general sense of the word, to have faith is to believe in something or someone, to fully trust, to be so confident that we base our actions on our beliefs. Now, whatever we can have faith in, we may experience according to the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect works the same way for everyone all of the time with absolutely no exceptions. Faith supports all of our beliefs. So the question then becomes, what are we putting our faith in? Are we putting our faith in fear, doubt, and worry, or are we putting our faith in a universe that is always for us, or in an indwelling spirit that is always giving to us? We either have faith in fear or faith in love, faith in the power of kindness or faith in war, faith in abundance or faith in lack, faith in our wholeness or faith in any particular diagnosis, or faith in the power of the world or faith in the power of God. We have a choice in the matter. For me, faith is always a spiritual conversation. It's a certain inner knowing that the thing that we are hoping for is already established, whether we can see it with our own eyes or not, whether there has been any material evidence of it. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not yet seen. Marianne Williamson says, to trust in the force that moves the universe is faith. Faith isn't blind, it's visionary. Faith is believing that the universe is on our side and the universe knows what it is doing. Faith is a psychological awareness of the unfolding force for good constantly at work in all dimensions. Faith says I can rather than I cannot. It's a spiritual force, a mental attitude that is so inwardly embodied that the mind can no longer deny it. Faith causes us to know something in our hearts before our eyes can see it. To have faith means to be fully confident or fully persuaded or fully convinced that something is going to occur. And not only is something going to occur, but we are really going to like what happens. Fear is being just as fully confident, just as fully persuaded, just as fully convinced that something is going to occur, only we are fully not going to like what actually happens. So if we really think about it, we're talking about something in the future. So if we're talking about something in the future, then we're actually making it up. So if we're making it up, why don't we make up something that we really like? Something that we really like, that we can get behind, that we can turn our attention solely onto it, allow that law of cause and effect to have its way with it, and then watch as it actually happens. Faith is like the confirmation slip in our hearts that the goods we desire are already on their way. It is a confirmation slip that we get instantly from God. We can sense it in our hearts. The manifestation of those goods, or the answer received, comes later, as long as we're patient. As long as we're patient and we don't throw away our confidence, or we don't turn away from our conviction, or we don't shut down the experience of expectation, which actually helps to fuel the manifestation. Faith is like a check. All that we have to do is go to the bank and present the check, and we can be assured that the money is going to show up in our account. But if we throw away the check and don't present it at the bank, then there will be no money put into our account. Faith is our yes to the universe, our consent to allow our good to flow to and through us. The invitation this evening is to let loose any idea that we might have that we are only human, that any particular problem is beyond a solution, or any particular need too challenging, or any particular fear too daunting. We are not only human. We are divine manifestations of God. And when we know that, and when we have faith in that, then absolutely the possibilities are endless. The invitation tonight is to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is a power for good in the universe, a power that is greater than we are and that we can use. To know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is a question of faith. And with the faith of God, not just faith in God, but the faith of God, there is no thing to fear. That anything and everything is possible. I believe in the magic of faith.
Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Sing, choirs of angels, sing in exaltation. Oh, sing, all ye citizens of heaven above. Glory to God, all glory in the let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Christ the Lord.
I believe in the magic of Christmas, and especially during this time of year, I believe in the magic of love. French dramatist Jean Anouilh said, "Love is, above all, the gift of oneself." I observe Christmas as a season to give love, not only through thoughtful gifts, but through our actions and deeds. This time of year provides us with wonderful opportunities to, with intention, give of our individual gifts, time, talent, and treasure, and reach out to share agape love with others. The scriptures say that agape love is the highest form of love, that it is the love of God for man and of man for God. It is love of mankind, unconditional, empathetic, universal love. Jesus the Christ set a perfect example of kindness and love. Throughout his earthly ministry, Jesus showed his love for others by blessing and serving the poor, the sick, and the distressed. He told his disciples, "This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you." Jesus commanded us to love each other and to love our enemies. He told us that God is love. The key concepts of love in the scriptures is trusting in God, being faithful to your partner and families, and being kind and patient with the world around you. The Parliament of World Religion gatherings confirmed that all of the world's religions convey God's unconditional love and compassion for all living beings and for our planet. The world's religions emphasize love because love is the key to a happy, fulfilled life. The key concepts of love in scriptures is trusting in God, being faithful to your partner and family, and being kind and patient with the world around you. Ruth Carter Stapleton said that Christmas is most truly Christmas when we celebrate it by giving the light of love to others. Giving love can look like many things: a smile, a kind word, an action that supports the health of our planet, a prayer. It can be an opportunity to listen to another person. It shows up in acts of generosity, in an encouraging word. It shines in every act of kindness and in every act of service. Every time we are hospitable, we are sharing God's love. We are being love. In the Bible, Mark 12:31 says, "Love your neighbor as yourself." The imperative word here being as. The long form of this phrase would be, "Love your neighbor as you love yourself." This implies that in order to be kind, compassionate, and generous to our neighbor, we must first be these things to ourselves. I know that now is the perfect right time to give that light of love to everyone in our lives, and to first give that love to ourselves. There are many ways to nurture self-love. A deep spiritual connection helps us find meaning and purpose in our lives, and that fills our cup. How we fill our cup can be sacred, as in meditation or prayer, spending time in nature, or in a moment of gratitude. It can be in a moment of surrendering to art, appreciating creativity or beauty. It comes when we worship or tap into our spirituality. Filling our cup can also be a lot of fun. We can seek out silly things that make us laugh. We can dance and sing with abandon. We can add activities to our schedule that feel like luxuries saved for vacation days. We can keep a list of things that make our hearts sing and grow that list by discovering new ways. I believe embracing joy is part of our life's purpose. It is especially important during this busy time of year to fill our cups before we go about offering ourselves and our love to others. Take a quiet moment of reflection and bring back warm, fuzzy feeling memories. Remember those moments of past Christmases with loved ones, those snippets of cherished, shared experience that fill our hearts with gratitude and joy. It is what fuels us to make the most of these fleeting days and really something we can tap into all year long. Practice making love your default. In a challenging moment, affirm for yourself, I am the best love I can be in all ways, always. Sarah Bareilles, in her song Love is Christmas, reminds us that this time isn't about the decorations or the gifts under the tree. It's not about any perceived lack that prevents us from buying things we may think others need. It's about the joy in being home with loved ones. It's about knowing that love is who we are and not defined by a season. It's about releasing perfectionism and judgment and letting love lead us. I'd like to read a love letter from the divine in the form of a poem titled Reminders of Divine Love by Reverend Dr. Bob Lucken. Love others, they are your breath of life. Love the past, the present, and the future. Be the child who falls to his knees from the power of his own laughter. Be the song every lover hears in the passion of a perfect union. Be the leaves on the tallest tree who long to fall and kiss the ground. Be the love that bends hard corners into hearts and clouds into pillows. Love the ego you have abandoned, along with all the disowned parts of yourself and others. When there is nothing you have not loved, lay down and sleep. Lie down and dream the dreams that lovers dream. When you wake, you will be awakened. Love everything you touch, everything you see, and most of all, love me. Love me in all my many forms. I am the love you are meant to be. May love's presence fill you to overflowing and bring you a most joyous Christmas and New Year. I believe in the power of love.
I don't care if the house is packed or the strings of lights are broken. And I don't care if the gifts are wrapped or there's nothing here to open. Love is not a toy and no paper will conceal it. Love is simply joy that I am home. And I don't care if the carpet's stained, we got food upon our table. And I don't care if it's gonna rain, our room is warm and stable. And love is who we are, and no season can contain it. Well, love, I look to you and I see. Let love lead us, love is Christmas. Let love lead us, love is Christmas. So why so scared you'll mess it up when perfection keeps you haunted? All we need is your best, my love, all anyone ever wanted. And love is how we do, let no judgment overrule it. Well, I look to you and I see, ooh, oh, we'll let love lead us. Love is Christmas. We'll let love lead us. Love is Christmas. We'll let love lead us. Love is Christmas.
So the third aspect that we associate with Christmas is joy. And that's not necessarily what we say. What we tend to say is we say, Happy Holidays. We say Merry Christmas. But then when we use the word joy, to me, it's like it's such a higher vibration. You know, it's joy to the world, or tidings of comfort and joy. And I think that that represents the difference between happiness and joy. That happiness or merriment it's an emotion, it's a feeling. And it's a very uplifting, exciting, enjoyable emotion. But emotions come and emotions go. Whereas joy is a God quality. Joy is happiness, like to the max, because it never goes away. It is always that feeling of transcendent exhilaration or bliss. And we can get those confused this time of the year because there are so many things going on that make us feel happy. The traditions and the seeing family and giving presents and good food and, these kind of spiritual uplifting activities. I mean, there's so much going on that makes us feel happy. But there is a difference. And I think the best metaphor I know, or I've heard, is that happiness as an emotion is like the weather. And the weather comes and the weather goes. And some weather we may like better than others. But if we don't like it, tomorrow is another day and another set of weather. And whereas joy is like the climate. The climate is the underlying reality of the truth of what generates the weather that exists independent of what happens from day to day. So here in North Carolina, tomorrow, they say it's going to be almost 70. But the climate of North Carolina is one where there is winter. So it's not going to be 70 from tomorrow until, April. We're going to have winter because that's the truth of the underlying nature of the environment in North Carolina. And that is the same thing with joy. So many of us feel much happiness during this time, but not all of us do. But even if we're not feeling happy, still there is joy. So an example I could offer up is this week I saw the new movie by Steven Spielberg of West Side Story. So if you don't know the story, spoiler alert, sad things happen. So I'm watching this movie and I'm crying because sad things are happening to characters that I have learned to love in this movie. But at the same time, I just was filled with joy because this is a movie that contains the story by William Shakespeare, music by Leonard Bernstein, lyrics by Stephen Sondheim, choreography by Jerome Robbins, and the movie-making talents of Steven Spielberg. I mean, what an incredible work of beauty and artistic mastery. So my heart was filled with joy at just this human beauty and creation that made me feel the touch of the divine. At the same time, my emotions had me crying. And, you know, taking it to the next level about Christmas, you know, this Christmas is the second Christmas that I won't be able to go home to DC to see my cross relatives. Just as this is the second year that we've done this virtually. And this is great, and this is powerful. And I'm so thankful that we have this time together as we can. But still, it would make me happier to see you, to hug you, to share our Christmas cookies, to be in the energy of these performances by these wonderful musicians. That would make me happy. But it gives me joy to be with you. It gives me joy to know that the decision to do this was one of love, of protecting each other, of protecting our wider community. And so that is why I know that your feelings over this season, they'll probably be all over the place. You may be happy, you may not be happy, you may be sad, you may be mad, you may be confused, you may be crazy. I don't know, I don't know what you're going to feel. But what I know is, regardless of what you're feeling, that when you dig under that, you can always find the joy. And I believe in the power of joy.
Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Your sweetest songs imply, while fields and streams, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat a sounding joy.
So Carol just talked about one of the God qualities, joy. And could you in this moment agree that another one of the qualities of God is peace? And if you're not so sure, could you at least be willing to entertain the idea that peace must exist at the center of everything, or the universe would be in utter chaos all of the time? That regardless of any situation or condition that happens to be going on around you in the world of form, the spiritual realm is always perfect. It is always the very essence of peace itself. So you might be sitting there thinking, well, if that's the truth, then why isn't my experience of my life one of peace? Some of you may be experiencing a very unpeaceful life, the one in which all of the people or all of the circumstances or all of the situations are filled with chaos, or they're sad or lonely, or they are filled with fear and doubt and worry. Many of you might be saying, I don't know if I've ever actually experienced a moment of peace in my entire life. Now, I can understand that, because there was a time in my life when that is exactly what I was feeling. As a 5-year-old, I told myself that I had to be perfect. I had to be perfect, or the people that I loved in my life would leave me. And I lived my life from that belief for a very, very long time. Now, if you think about that, can you get that there would be absolutely no peace in a life that was lived with that underlying context, that I had to be perfect? I walked around on eggshells all of the time, in every single arena of my life, in every relationship, always trying to do or to be exactly what everyone needed me to be. And sometimes I didn't even really know what that was, so I was guessing. Or at other times, if there was 10 people in the room and I was trying to be everything for all of those 10 people, when some of them had needs that were 180 degrees from each other, how could I possibly do that? And then as I got older, I understood that it was always changing. That one year it would be, this person needed me to be that, and the next year they needed me to be something else. So there was absolutely no peace in that life. In 2005, I went through the breakup of an almost 4-year relationship. My mother made her transition, and that breakup was in April, and my mother made her transition in June, and my cat of 18 years passed away in October. Now, but by the time the season of peace on earth, goodwill to men came around, I knew that they meant everyone except me. Everyone except me. And like you, some of you, I really had no concept of peace to fall back upon. All of these things had happened in 2005, and I had no concept of peace to fall back upon, because that was not something I had ever experienced in my entire life. My life was simply not working for me. So during most of 2005, I really retreated into myself. I was studying for a couple of big tests, and that gave me an excuse to spend all my time by myself. But by the time January of 2006 rolled around, I found myself seeking something else. And I returned back to my spiritual home, which was then called the Chicago Center for Spiritual Living. And that first time that I returned, I was sitting in a row in the middle of the sanctuary. And I was really consciously aware of the fact that I really didn't know why I was there, but I knew that I was supposed to be. I knew that I was exactly where I was supposed to be in that moment. And as I was sitting there, a woman that I didn't know came walking into the row in front of me. And as she did so, as she crossed right directly in front of me, I was filled with what I immediately experienced as peace. Now, at the time, I really didn't understand how I knew it was peace, because I had never really experienced it before. But I knew that it was. I knew that it was. In this moment of grace, I don't know how I knew it was peace, but I knew that it was peace. And in that moment, I said to myself, from this moment on, I choose peace. From this moment on, I choose to feel this quality, this experience in every part of my life, in all of it, the ups and the downs. This is what I want to feel as an underlying feeling throughout my entire life. Now, I have to tell you, some days I'm better at it than at other days, but always it is the underlying intention of my life to feel that peace. Now, what I want you to know is that you don't have to have an experience like that. It doesn't have to be a moment of grace or something that just happens all of a sudden for you to really know peace and to express it and to have it manifest in your life. What I've really come to understand since that moment is that the essence of peace was always surrounding me. The essence of peace was always within me, just like Carol talked about joy. It was always there, but I wasn't always in a place to recognize it. But it was always there. For me, I love that poem that Heather read earlier, because it kind of brought up some ideas for me about love. And so maybe you'll be thinking about some moments for you when you experienced peace. But for me, peace shows up in the moments when I'm in a meditation and there's some, this second or two of absolute stillness, when my mind is very quiet. I feel that same feeling of peace. I felt it when I've been watching a sunset. When I lived in California, I used to be able to really watch the sunsets. And as you're sitting there watching, there's this moment when the sun, dips into the water on the horizon. It dips into the water. And I can remember a feeling of peace, or this feeling of completion that came over me. And in that moment of completion, I felt that peace. I can remember as a kid laying in the fall, laying in a pile of leaves on a really warm fall day on the wind-protected side of the house. And I was just laying there, just being, not thinking about anything, not thinking I had to do anything, just soaking up that sun and being. And I can remember swimming in the ocean on the East Coast or on the West Coast, when you're really totally supported by the water. That salt water just kind of holds you up there and you're totally supported. You're surrounded by it. And you think in that moment, could there be any greater moment than this? It is so peaceful. And I'm sure each and every single one of us can think about other times when maybe that feeling tone has come in, or we've been aware of it. But it is a God quality. It's there all the time. And so what I finally began to understand was that it wasn't the external experiences that brought me peace, but that I was so present to what was happening. I was so present to being supported and surrounded by the water. I was so present to the warm sun shining down on me in that pile of leaves. I was so present in that moment that I was peace. That God quality of peace came through me. So my invitation this evening is for each of us to become aware, or perhaps more aware, of those kinds of moments in our lives, and to really allow ourselves to experience them fully, and then to allow that feeling tone that comes, that we become more aware of, that feeling tone of peace, to really expand in our hearts and to spill out of us into all of the moments and all of the relationships of our lives. The truth is that we can really, in any given moment, choose peace. We do have that within us and we can choose it. But in order to do that, we have to stand in the present, perfect now moment. We have to stand in that and allow that presence of peace as us to move through us. And I know that we can. And I claim that we can. And I believe in the power and the magic of peace.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies, with angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hail the heaven-born Prince of Peace, hail the Son of Righteousness, light and life to all he brings, risen with healing wings. Mild he lays his glory by, born that man no more may die, born to raise the sons of earth, born to give them second birth. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
We close this evening with a quote by Ernest Holmes. It is titled, "The Call." "This I saw, or else some inner presence made it known to me. The universe is filled with life. The air, the sky, the sea teem with intelligence, with majesty and might. And deep within me some subtle inner sight beholds and sees, comprehends and knows the all. It neither fears nor falters, but answers the divine call to be as one, beyond the boundaries of time and space, to overcome the bondage of the human race, and leap with trust undaunted free into the depths of that infinite sea, whose waters calm are ready to receive those who in simple faith believe.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth, Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven above, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Merry Christmas.
So good to see you all on there. I just invite us to turn within one last time this evening together, to allow ourselves to sit in the feeling tone of gratitude. Gratitude for just the technology that allows us to continue to be with each other on these special events. Technology that allows us to do the silent night candle lighting ritual that we've done so often in the past together. So grateful for Cindy and Karen this evening and their beautiful music. So grateful for Heather and Carol and their words and their consciousness. So grateful for Ava assisting us with AV. And so grateful for this community, our lovely spiritual community, the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Such a wonderful, warm, loving space and place. So as we leave here this evening, we do so with a little more faith, a little deeper love, boundless joy, and the peace that passes all understanding wrapped around us like a blanket. And I'm so grateful for all of it. And so it is. Thank you all so very much, everyone, for joining us this evening. Thank you, everybody in the Hollywood Squares, for your participation. Merry Christmas Eve and Merry Christmas for tomorrow. Enjoy your time with your families. I love you all. See you soon.